What? And why would I do that? Okay, I'll do it. Stop calling me though. Alright, here we go. It's time for the Nokia 3310 Jam 5. A game jam created as a blast from the past, having participants create games that could technically be run on an old school Nokia. These games must use a 1-bit color palette, consisting of the beautiful Aero Blue and its ugly sibling Castellan Green. On top of this, the resolution is limited to 84 by 48 pixels, sub-pixel movement is not allowed, and all sounds must hurt your ears. The jam was 9 days long, and an optional theme was announced as it started, being fast and slow. Naturally, I then spent the next 2 days thinking about how I could make the most of the theme. I imagined cooking games, racing games, some sort of Quap clone, but ultimately decided on a puzzle game about time looping. This would involve the I honestly didn't think that could happen. Anyway, I had an idea, so it was time to get the ball rolling in Unity. I started off by setting the camera size and experimenting with the resolution constraints. I knew it was working right when the triangles just straight up weren't. Once that was sorted, I worked on getting the colors right, and then it was just a matter of building a game. Games have players though, and drawing a player small enough to leave room to fit other things on the screen was taking a surprising amount of time, until I remembered that I've already made about 5,000 little fellas. I just need to use a little imagination. So I sifted through my creations from my previous video and found this, a perfectly sized crab. Just like that, I had a character, a sandy theme, and a name, Crab Loop. While I was making some art, I created a few buttons and screens for the main menu and called it a night. I started off day 4 fairly strong by making some particles that show up when the player dies, as well as some functionality for the main menu. But that's all. That's all I did on day 4. Remember when I said it was just a matter of building the game? Well, with half my time up I realised I still didn't have one, so that was my job on day 5. It was time to begin my simple 83-step plan to making a game about my little crab. Step 1. Write some movement code. Step 2. Test it. Step 3. Write code to limit the frame rate. Step 4. Test it. Step 5. Write code for a countdown. Step 6. Test it. Step 7. Write code to reset the level. Step 8. Test it. I woke up in the morning of day 6 with a bit of a headache, but it was time to implement the main mechanic, time looping. My idea was that when the timer runs out, the player would reset and play alongside their previous crab. Their only previous crab. One working. Just like that, we've got time looping. It was getting fairly late, so I decided to work on something less brain intensive, like writing a list of what I still need to do and making some music. Mind you, that was my first time even attempting to make music for one of my games, so if you don't like it, don't worry, you're certainly not alone. Time for bed. After an intense day of coding time manipulation, I took day 7 fairly easy by making some art, animations, and just general stuff that I know takes a while and I often leave to the last minute. It dawned on me that day 8 was the last full day I had to work on this, so I finished the menu screen and then solved the issue of other crabs getting in the way by adding a functionality to snip them. I also slightly changed their appearance so you know which one you are. Once their animations were in, I got designing and implementing as many unique levels as I could. On top of the whole time looping stuff, these levels made use of only 2 simple mechanics. If you fell onto a crab, you would jump, and the snipping mechanic was tweaked to allow for some funky interactions with physics objects. I ended up making around 11 levels. I got to a point where I felt like if I made any more, then I would be essentially copying and pasting from a previous level. Designing and developing these levels took a shocking amount of time and code, so to finish off the day I added all the music, sound effects, and sort of just polished off everything that needed it. While I was doing this, I came up with a few ideas for the end screen of my game, which I was planning on implementing in the morning. The final day. The game was due at noon, so I got to work straight away on an end screen. This turned out to be a pretty cute little area which showed a bigger crab simply saying, "Welcome home, kiddo," putting a whole meaning to the story where it was just a kid getting home to their family. A little story with a happy ending. But the clock was still ticking, and I needed to get this game in, so I hit build and set up the itch.io page in the meantime. It was nearing submission time, and the game was taking a leisurely stroll through the build process. All while I'm just sat here watching the clock as it nears. I couldn't submit the game on time. But I wasn't done. I ended up messaging the jam host and he extended the due date for an hour. I got it in and all was well. After a week, submission results were in. I ended up placing 50th overall, with 6th for innovation, 60th for completeness, and 99th for quality. I'm pretty happy with these results. Most of the comments seem to like the concept, but hate the music, which is fair enough. I mean, I made all of the music while I was going to bed. I ended up fixing some of the bugs after the game jam, which classified me as a deluxe member of their Discord. Now, I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty cool. I'll leave you with a full playthrough of the game, but beforehand a quick shout out to all of my patrons and subscribers here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.